So today we're going to dive into something that's both deeply personal and, honestly, a huge global issue right now. The really tough choices immigrants are facing in a world where it feels like borders and maybe even minds are starting to close.
This quote really hits home, doesn't it? It just perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about. It's a great reminder that behind all the headlines and the political noise, there are real people with real stories making incredibly difficult decisions.
All right, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. What we're seeing is this major shift happening all over the globe, this rising tide of protectionism that's completely changing the conversation about immigration everywhere.
And what's so striking is that this isn't just happening in one place. We're talking protests down in Australia, new policies in the United States, and even just a growing feeling of unease about foreign workers in a global hub like Singapore. This isn't an isolated incident, it's a real worldwide trend. And this right here, this gets to the absolute core of the tension. On one hand, you've got the very real concerns of local communities. People worried about jobs, about wages being pushed down, about their culture changing. But then you look at the other side, at the immigrants' reality. And for them, it's often about the basics: survival, safety, just trying to provide for their family. Both sides have completely valid reasons for feeling the way they do. So let's shift gears a little bit, from the political to the personal. Because when you get past all the policy debates, you find there's a profound human cost to all of this. It's so easy for this whole topic to get boiled down to numbers, right? Economic impact, statistics, charts. But at its heart, this is about people. People making these huge, life-altering choices that you just can't measure on a spreadsheet. Wow, this quote just cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? That sacrifice. The source material talks about a BBC story of a father who moved from Hong Kong and was separated from his kids. His story really shows you this incredible personal cost, that feeling that a piece of you is always, always somewhere else. And that brings us right to the dilemma for each individual person. It's this constant internal balancing act, weighing what you might gain against everything you stand to lose. It's a personal trade-off that millions and millions of people face every single day. Okay, first, let's talk about the pull. Why would anyone leave everything they've ever known? Well, the simple answer is that incredibly powerful allure of opportunity. It's the promise of something better. And these are the big ones, the concrete drivers. A higher income, that's not just a number on a paycheck, right? It's the ability to support your entire family back home. Professional growth isn't just a new job title. It could mean getting into a whole career that literally doesn't even exist where you're from. These possibilities can be absolutely life-changing.
But, and there's always a but. For every pro, there's a con. And in this case, the price you pay is enormous. It's that constant heavy weight of distance.
And that weight shows up in so many different ways. It's being so far from your family that you miss weddings, funerals, just the simple day-to-day moments. That cultural isolation, it's more than a language barrier. It can be this deep, gnawing loneliness, a feeling that you don't really truly belong anywhere anymore. These are serious emotional burdens to carry. Which, of course, leads to this single, haunting question. Is it worth it? Is the better career worth missing your kid's birthday year after year? Is the financial stability worth that constant feeling of being an outsider? There are just no easy answers. So, how does anyone even begin to navigate this? Well, the source material makes it really clear. There is no universal answer. The solution is deeply, uniquely personal. There is no one-size-fits-all path here. And this is so key. For us to move forward, the conversation has to shift. It can't be about proving locals are right and immigrants are wrong or the other way around. It's got to be about having the empathy to see that both points of view are valid and that they come from real-life experiences. For anyone who's actually facing this decision, the source suggests a kind of framework. First, take a hard look at your own priorities. What really matters most to you? Is it family, career, safety? Second, be honest and acknowledge the sacrifices. Don't pretend they aren't there. And finally, use that understanding to choose the path that feels most authentic to who you are. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. The right choice isn't some universal truth floating out there. It's the one that lines up with your deepest, most personal values. It's a decision that really can only come from within. And that leaves us with a thought for everyone, really, no matter what your connection is to this topic. The immigrant's dilemma is just such a powerful, intense version of something we all go through. So just take a second to think about it. What are the fundamental trade-offs that have defined the most important choices in your own life?